What's up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, and the raids are coming this week. That's right, in about 3 days, we're going to start the first chapter of the Mines of Moria raids. What teams should you be building? What teams are you going to take in there? Let's talk about it. Alright, so we have the first chapter coming out of the Mines of Moria, and we know that it's going to be waves and waves of orcs coming in, and it's basically kill as many as you can within the time given, and as well as focusing in on that orc bomber so that he can drop this bomb and take out his team as well to score you even more points. So what teams should we be taking in there? What teams should we be focusing on that's going to be doing best speculatively right now before the raid starts? And we're going to go in there, and the first team is going to be basically the S team, and that is going to be your Rivendell team. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the Rivendell team is going to be your #1 spot to take in there, and it's going to have everything. You're going to have your tank, you're going to have healing, you're going to have single target DPS, you're going to have a little bit of AoE to help you out, and it's a lot of sustain to keep your characters going. They're also going to have that revive ability from Lord Elrond to bring back one of your characters if they died during the fight to help you continue. Now, farmability. Okay, so obviously, if you were here for the marquee event, you were able to pick up Arwen at a 3-star, no problem. You were able to pick up Eldon at a 3-star, no problem, especially if you're free to play and you didn't put any money into the game. Currently, today is the last day to spend 1,000 shards per chest opening to get more stars on Eldon, but at this point, I'm going to say don't waste your gems on this. Yes, the patch is also coming this week, which is going to raise up the abilities on star levels. Percentage-wise, it's going to raise the stats all down the board. Power, health, armor, everything like that, the more stars you have. But I wouldn't spend money on these just yet. We are still in the infancy of this game. And yes, you can purchase them, the shards, directly in the shop. Let's just bring that up real quick here. If you go, Gimli. Alright, so today you can get Arwen for 225 gems, and that's for 5 shards. I don't think currently right now that's the way to go. We are still in the infancy of this game, as I said. And I believe down the road they are going to expand the hard nodes throughout the campaign to put in these marquee characters into those spots where you'll be able to farm them up otherwise. But let's look at the team itself. So yes, they have basically the 3 best players, 3 best characters in the game on there, I feel. That would be, of course, bring this up here. And that would be, as the tank, Eldon, Lord Elrond as the first legendary in the game, and Elro here. I believe those are the 3 best characters in the game, but you're able to farm up these 2 perfectly fine. And if you have Eldon at a 3-star, you have Arwen at a 3-star, that's great. But we also got Legolas in the other day, or the other week, and you were able to bring him up free for a 3-star, same as Gimli. So, if you don't have the ability to farm up this team itself currently, I'm going to say do a mix and match, do a elf team. And we can do that when we just bring up elf instead of Rivendell. Now we have a lot of options here. If you do have this team and you want to do a secondary team, that's fantastic. I would take, at that point, Leliel, I would take Legolas, I would take Naramiri, and fill in the other 3 spots with other characters. Gimli, because Gimli will be working out really well with Legolas. We were able to get that the other day. But if you don't have Lord Elrond, I'm going to suggest filling that gap right there with Naramiri. It's going to give you that sustain, that healing ability. You're not going to have the revive, and that's okay. But you're going to have a great healing ability, and the farmability of Naramiri is fantastic because you can do it through the guild campaign itself which means you don't have a refresh. In the winters, you can't just do it for 5 turns and then have to spend 25 or 50 gems to refresh the node. You can just pour all your guild energy into that and bring her up. Because again, the star levels are going to count when this raid goes live. So as a secondary team or a subsequent team, and I would mark this down as a kind of like an A tier, because S tier would be with Elrond, would definitely be subbing in Naramiri in there. And I would also probably supplement in Legolas for Lothian, to be completely honest. I think Legolas basically has a lot more to offer currently than Lothian. I'm still on the fence a little bit on this, but with his kit, you can do a little bit more. Yes, there's a lot of single target damage you can get from Lothian, but with Legolas here, with his rapid fire, even if someone in that enemy group has taunt up, you'll be able to, on that second hit, be able to hit the most wounded ally. With his special too, you're able to dispel boons if you get a crit. And you're going to get a full turn meter if you're able to kill a character with his ultimate or special 2, and it's going to give you more chances to knock out that enemy team. Now, who would you take in as a secondary team? So you have this, we don't know if you could submit one, submit multiple, we don't know exactly how that mechanic is going to work. But as a secondary option, I would also consider this A tier. I would go with the Isengard group. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. Let's bring Isengard up. You can bring in the full Isengard group because they're going to heal Morzra and Azrak. Whenever they're attacking a character that has got Banes on them, you're going to get a little bit of life left due to the, I believe it's the leadership rule of Uglok. Let's bring that up. Yeah. Basically, yeah, when it inflicts a Bane, because they all inflict Banes, you have Azrak that's going to do heals, and Azrak itself is a heavy hitting character. He's going to do a lot of damage right off the bat. Now, you don't have much AoE in this party at all, really. It is really not a lot to do this. So, a way you can do that is take in the 3, take Uglok in, take Dunher in, take Maher in, and then also supplement in Gazra Ironhide. Let's just bring up all the shadow and get rid of the Isengard here. Let's just scale this to power. Okay. Bring Isra in, because that's going to give you your AoE damage. You're going to get 2 AoEs, and it's also going to remove any boons on the enemy team. So that's going to cover you for your AoE. Also bring in Nuraz, because then you'll have, well, not healing per se. You're gonna rely on Dunher for your healing, but you're gonna be able to bring in that additional large character. You're gonna summon in right here the Stone Troll, and that's gonna help you out as well, because that's gonna also be additional AoE damage to that enemy team. But you're also gonna gain defensive with his special. So it's going to cleanse Banes from himself, another ally. It's going to give defensive to 3 members of your team, which is going to help out with, blocking out some of that damage you're going to be getting. And yes, I know my teams aren't completely up to snuff, power-wise, everything else-wise. I've kind of been going a little bit wider with my roster. I'm going to tackle that in an account review in another video, but that would be my suggestion as a secondary team. But if you have a full Isengard team rose up, that would be great. And again, you have those 2 subs I would bring in as well. I would drop, I would drop Morzra, actually, before I would drop Azak, because, like I said, the power of Azrak is phenomenal. And also, with Maher, you're going to have that self-heal. He's going to have that regeneration he's going to keep giving himself. So, let's move on to a 3rd team. Now, the 3rd team, you can go 2 ways, right? We're going to have to, let's clear all this. We can go, let's see here. Ranger team. And obviously, if you're not, we're going to use a mixture here. because we can, if we're using Eldon with our elf team, if we're doing multiple runs, because once you submit a run, that team is exhausted, those characters you use are exhausted, you won't be able to use them again. So it's going to count out these two right here. But that's going to leave us Strider. It's going to leave us Halbarad. It's going to leave us Miri if you have Miri raised up a bit. But if you don't have Miri raised up, I would sub in additional characters such as Pippin and Merry from the Road to Rivendell team. So you could call this basically the Rangers of Rivendell team. Let's just bring up Road to Rivendell as well. Oh, we can't do that. Okay, let's bring up all. We'll just bring up light characters, or we'll just go individually. You know, it'll just make it easier this way. All right, so Halbarad right here. Now, depending on what you're going to bring in, right? If you have Miri raised up, that's going to give you 3 Rangers teams. So you can use either the Ranger of the North leadership ability, or you can go to Strider if you're bringing in additional 2 or more of the Road to Rivendell team. Let's find Strider here. I really, really wish they would fix. I would fix how we can just the immediate organization of the roster itself. And I'm hoping that eventually that they're going to bring in save teams, because I think that would be fantastic as well. Okay, so obviously I did not raise Strider up. I've been working on my other teams, but you could use his leadership ability to save Merry and Pippin. Now, Pippin's going to be your go-to healer for this. And if you've been farming up star levels, well, that's going to just increase his overall health, which is going to increase his overall healing, because his healing is implicative. Let's see here. This is, yep, right here. Oh, okay, so if you have this raised up even to 4, even to 5, which obviously I don't have, but it's going to be 2% healing over the character's max health, or right now it's heal all squad members for 500 health and 12% of Pippin's max health. And with the star levels, it's basically going to double his health. So you're going to see a big increase in all your healers for all the heals that they give out. So the third, like I said, the third team would be Halbarad, it would be Miri, it would be Strider, Pippin, and Merry. You could sub in another character if you would like. You could sub in, if you're not using Womian somewhere, or Lady, you could put in Lady Éowyn. But we could also use that as a slightly different team. We can do a pure Rohan team. And that would fall, I think that would be more like a B-class team. Only because I am not very excited about Algerad's healing. And I have not raised up Winifred. But your Road to Rivendell team would also be a pretty good raid team if you don't have anything else to go on, or if you want to try and just add overall points. Now, another team itself, and this could be, I guess, somewhere between an A and a B team, and maybe an A-, maybe a B+. Only reason because the characters themselves, most of them are completely, a little bit easier to farm up. The only problem is Aldred, your healer, which is, unfortunately, in the store. So you'd have to spend gems on it. But Elmer, he's in the supply store, so that's really easy to pick up. So you're basically just using, what is it? I believe it's guild currency, I think, right? Or arena currency? Let's bring that up here real quick. Yeah, that's going to be your arena currency. And he's real. In fact, let's just grab him one right now and just keep farming him up. It's real easy to farm these guys up. It's just, I hate to see you guys spend gems on characters. I just don't think that's the way to go. But let's see here. Okay, so we got the Road to Rivendell team, the Rangers of Rivendell team. We have the full Rohan team, which will help. Now, if you want to go another Shadow team, You could do Mordor. I think that's going to be definitely a B tier. There's not really much healing in this. I mean, you have Urzon, but his healing is really, really not substantial currently. In fact, I haven't even put any resources into this team as well, other than bringing Shagrad up to 33 and bringing Ironhide up to 50 and bringing him up. Obviously, I'm going to put more into Ironhide for my overall Shadow team, for campaigns, for hard nodes, stuff like that. But as a raid team, I'm going to focus on the other teams before I focus on these guys. And, of course, the other way you can go is, especially if you're a spender, because it's the only way you're going to round that whole team out, is the Misty Mountains team. Let's bring that up. Oh, there it is. Alright, so you got your Misty Mountains team here. And you can go, you know, Goblins. It's, you know, okay, you're going to have AoE from Golbers. You're going to have healing from the Chef, but he's a very late farm to get him up. The Brute would also be good on that team, but again, that's going to be a gem purchasable character. You can't get him anywhere else. Tordok also is a late farm to get him unlocked, because if you're going to use Bolg, who's going to be the leader of this team, which is going to give you the best bang for your buck, you're going to want Tordok in there. Also, you could supplement Norez in there as well. I would put Norez in there because that's going to give you your additional AoE damage as well as more defensive ability. But these are the teams I would focus on going forth in this first chapter. And again, it's going to be a learning curve. The game is still in its infancy. This is our first raid. We have to see how everything goes. And just try to do the best with what you got. And like I said, if I was going to mark these down, your Rivendell team would be your first bet. That would be your go-to team. That's going to be your S tier. Your secondary A tier would be just your Elf team without Elrond. You put Legolas in this place, you're going to use that leadership ability, because that's going to give you at least the leadership ability for the Elves itself. And you want to, you're going to want to supplement Naramiri in for Elrond, and for Lomian, I would put Legolas in that place as well. Now you could also go Dwarves as well. I haven't really messed with the Dwarves, but if you're going to do the Dwarves, I would keep Legolas in that team, because the combo ability between Gimli and Legolas is fantastic. I would definitely go with that. But whichever way you want to go, you want sustain. You want some single target DPS for that orc bomb thrower. You are going to want some AoE to try and just get down as many orcs as you possibly can. Because if you kill more than one orc in the same turn, you're going to get double points. You're going to get, I think it's 2,000 points. And 4,000 for having the orc bomber blow up his team. So it's all about getting as many points as you can for your run. So again, Isengard also a good team, full Isengard, or even a mixture with Nurez in there, with Ironhide in there, your Rangers of Rivendell team with Halbarad, with Strider, with Miri, bring in Pippin, bring in Merry for the haste. That's going to help out as well. If you do have Killy and Philly unlocked, there's a really good healing there as well. So just off the top of my head, it would be Killy, Philly, Gimli, Legolas, and then you supply a fifth member. You know, put another fifth member in there. You could put Fro in there, but I don't see how two tanks would be good on a run like this, because it's just waves and waves of enemies. It's not a single target that is coming at you. Mordor team, again, it's going to be your B tier. Misty Mountains is going to be a B tier. Rohan will also be a low A, mid, high B team as well. So I hope this video helped you guys. If you guys like my content, go ahead, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share the video, like the video. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Adventure safe, and good luck to you and your fellowship.